want a I want a career in this. I'm so interested. So I went to the University of Texas, and I majored in film, radio, TV, film. University of Texas has a very good film program. And then I came out to LA and started acting, producing full time as a job, as a life. And
so do you feel it rewarding, Christina?
Here's the thing about it, and I was saying this to someone else the other day, is that you have a life in art.
Right.
And things happen in your life. People die, you break up with your significant other, and just because you have a dream career doesn't mean that it's always dreamy.
Right.
You still live your life in art. But honestly, there's nothing else I would really rather do, even when there is a struggle. I mean, actors do struggle, producers do struggle, hosts do struggle. At times to make a living, get recognition. People don't consider it sometimes a real job. It is. But it's definitely rewarding because I get to explore, on the acting side, I get to explore what the human psyche is all about, what really makes us tick, what makes our heartbeats. On the hosting side, having great conversations, I get to just talk to really great people who are doing really cool things in the world. Like last week, I actually spoke to Lisa Simmons. She is climbing Mount Kilimanjaro for Blaze Sports America, which helps people with disabilities have sports activities.
Nice.
So she's summiting the highest peak in Africa very soon for this charity. So on the hosting side, I get to have these really great, fun conversations. And on the producing side, I get to really help people bring a vision to life.
Right.
So all of those have different rewards, but they also have different challenges.
Yes. Well, I don't know if you follow my show or not, but how I started, it's going on 8 years as of August. And I got started this show because I got diagnosed with the missing piece of a chromosome called 22q. It's kind of like Down syndrome, and you have over 200 symptoms involved. So you have a congenital heart defect, you have teeth issues, you have feeding issues, and there's a lot going on. So there's a lot of surgeries involved as well. But not each person who has 22q is the same. So they're all different. So it's like Down syndrome. We tell it it's like Down syndrome because you have that tiny piece of the chromosome. It misses your whole body out of whack. For me, I've had a congenital heart defect. I had 3 open heart surgeries. I had 2 sinus surgeries. My palate was so small and words was not coming out of my mouth, so they had to fix that palate. Then I had tubes put in my ear. And then I had a grand mal seizure at the age of 17, suffered brain damage, and I was in a coma for a week. So the doctors told my mom I wasn't going to make it to my 21st birthday, but now I'm 43 doing the radio show. I'm an activist for 22q11. There's other names involved in it, but we like to stick to 22q11. And so we just try to make it more aware because a lot of people don't know it's out there. And they say they have kids who are in a bubble and they don't want to go out there and try. So I try to tell them it's okay to go outside the comfort zone, but parents have a hard time with that situation, if that makes sense, because they're overprotective.
I understand. It does make sense. I think everybody struggles with, I was literally just having this conversation with someone, so interesting, is that sometimes we have a way of seeing ourselves and seeing others close to us. And when a person stretches beyond that comfort zone, whether they move away to another town or their beliefs change, sometimes it can be very challenging when people grow and stretch. And I can understand from a parent's perspective, you never want to see your kids get hurt.
Right.
Your instinct is to protect your child, but at what price does that protection come?
Right.
I think it's a valid question.
And so what was the most difficult interview you have ever faced?
Oh, probably the first one I did. As an interviewer, it's interesting. I'm just detecting a little bit of feedback on the line. First time I ever sat down at a recording booth, of course, I had Judy, my co-host, there, but we were doing 50 minutes, a block of time, live radio.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 50 minutes with two guests. So it was timed. It had to start at a certain time. It had to transition at a certain time. Had to end at a certain time. So that first time I ever sat down to LA Talk Radio with Judy Goss to do What Women Want as a co-host was probably the most difficult interview I ever did because I felt like I was launching a station.
You improved. You got better.
Well, yeah, I mean, they say practice makes perfect. Now, I don't believe in perfect, but after a while, you learn strategies of dealing with different situations. You learn how long, you learn how long something's going to take versus not. You get more strategic about what you're trying to do as you grow more accustomed and you get more scenarios. I would say when the show was 50 minutes long on LA Talk Radio, and say Judy was out of town, and I had to have one guest for 50 minutes, that was maximally challenging, because how do you talk to someone for 50 minutes? You can have a good conversation for 50 minutes, but you also have to keep that conversation flowing and on the talking points, on point. And I had to do that a few times, and it really tested my I guess priorities as an interview.
Yeah.
Um,
Did you have to write like notes and get prepared?
Preparation is everything for me, and I think that's the actor in me, for sure. Um, an actor prepares their scenes, and when I interview, I rarely interview someone cold. I usually have a page of notes, the questions I want to ask, anything that I think is relevant. If it's topical, and we're talking about something like human trafficking,
Right.
which has been a very hot topic, especially this year.
Right.
I might have a few statistics and talk to the expert about the statistics that we're talking about and try and bring a real world example from their experience. So I think great interviewing is preparation. Some people are a little bit more impromptu than I would, but whatever works for you.
Well, I like to ask them for their bios, and then I'll go over the night before because I have short-term memory loss, and I can't really seem to function everything down. And then that's why you see me my new tablet. So what I end up doing is writing, try to memorize it as best as I can. And I found out when you're doing Skype, you can actually record off of your iPad with voice memo. So that's a new technology that I learned. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
No, interesting.
So with my guests who are on Skype, that's how I can audio tape you guys, and then I could put it on MP3 player later. So that's a little secret that I kind of figured out myself without nobody's help. So it's just those technologies that people should be more aware of. And like you, I'm trying to make people more aware of different awareness and like mental health awareness. So I'm on the field like you all the time, but I'm trying to give guests on the just show the show. We just had Gabriella Stone on the show. I don't know if you know who she is.
Gabrielle Stone?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know. I've not met Gabrielle, but I actually interviewed her mother, Dee Wallace.
She is going to be on the show for in a couple months.
Oh,
yes. And then we have another mutual friend, Donna Russell, and Peggy.
Peggy Lane, yes.
I'm bad with names, so sorry about that.
It's okay. No, and I was on a few episodes of Donna on the Go. I love what they're doing. I love their sense of mission. It's not just about making a web series for them. There's a really deep heart and a deep mission behind Donna on the Go. And a lot of great people have been on that show. I taped a few episodes with Kate Linder, who's a soap star. Peggy and Donna are doing a great service to the community by doing that show, and I'm just so excited to see all the developments with it.
It's awesome because I met them. I was supposed to go to the agility expo, but something was happening, and I don't know what it was. when I got to do the interview on the awareness show, and that's how we got to meet each other. It was a lot of fun, and I meet different type of people all the time, like you do, and so I just reach out. Hopefully, they'll say yes. Sometimes they say no, or we don't want to even hear from you. I get that. I do get people like, oh no, she's no good. No, I don't know. No, And then, have you ever had stalkers following you and giving you a hard time?
That's a hazard of having a public life. When you have a public facing life like I do on camera and screen, occasionally you have people that get a little intrusive,
Yep.
a little too personal, occasionally a little inappropriate. I wouldn't say full on stalking, but and sometimes people's behavior has made me uncomfortable, and my policy is I try and deal with people as compassionately as possible.
Yeah. And then there's some idiots you just cannot stand at all. I'm just, Um, so my question is, I always ask this because I have a lot of students who are getting into the film industry and who want to be a radio host. What words and advice do you have for them?
Prepare for the long haul. Very few people have what we call overnight success. And in fact, there's a saying that it takes 10 years for you to have overnight success. You're going to put in a lot of sweat equity. You may have to work for less than you think you deserve for a while. And you have to be really good at what you do to succeed. It takes a lot, and you have to be able to face rejection. So it's not going to be, wave a magic wand and suddenly you have a career. You're going to have to put a lot of sweat equity into it.
And can they find internships in the field? I mean, they have a hard time finding internships, so that's always a question the students ask. Where can I go and get internships?
It depends on what you want to do. So if you want to act, my strong suggestion is if you live near a college that has a film program, volunteer for every student film that you possibly can get into as an actor. And really decide, if you have no prior acting experience, really decide if you can stand being on the set for 12 hours and doing 30 takes of the same scene. Because that's the reality of working on film.
Yeah.
As an actor. Now, as a host, honestly, it depends on where you are. People that live on the East Coast and West Coast and major media markets are going to have a little bit easier time finding opportunities in some regards. But it's very easy now to start a podcast. 2 clicks of a button, you're on Facebook Live.
Right.
But if you do your own podcast like you're doing, or you're doing Facebook Live, treat it like the real deal.
Right.
Have a plan, have a structure, and all of that. Try and act as if you're Maria Schreiber. Act as if you're Jenna Wolf. Act as if you're whoever your favorite TV host is. Try and invest in being real as possible. Now, if you want to produce, get some experience on a film set. Once again, it's very easy if you live near a college that has a film program. Get involved in your local film community before you go spending thousands of dollars to move to LA. Now, the thing I think that most producers really lack, or people who want to produce, don't understand the cost of filmmaking.
Right.
Filmmaking at the professional level, what the studios do, what even seems to be inexpensive film, is really cost intensive, and you need to know how to cost a film. So if you have the opportunity to learn how to budget a film, please take the class, please try it. find a good line producer, find a good UPM, unit production manager, and really learn what they do, because you're never going to be able to actualize a vision of a film until you can get the money to pay for it and then know how to allocate those funds. A lot of people fail in filmmaking because, yeah, somebody gave them $300,000 to make a feature, but they didn't allocate it correctly to get the vision accomplished.
How would one person go about getting sponsors for like a radio show or a podcast show? How do you reach out to them?
So first of all, you need to know where you exist in the ecosystems, and that's who is actually watching your show. What women want, it's the demography. The demographic is right there in the title of the show. It's about women. It's pretty obvious what that show, what group of people is watching the show. Once you know who your audience really is, then what you need to do is create what's called a pitch deck, which tells somebody what's your demographics, who's watching, what numbers are we talking about, and why why your show reaches them the most effectively. And then you have a rate card on your pitch deck of buying spots or buying sponsorship. Okay. That's how you do that. And then you reach out. And you reach out to the people who most fit your product demographic. So if I'm pitching a women's show, I'm not going to go and pitch Axe body spray, because that's generally thought of as a man's product.
Right.
Whereas if the demographic of my show is generally women age 30 and up, who are middle to high income, then I might be looking at things like luxury goods, satin pillowcases, wine, any sort of product that's women specific. Because you just need to know who you are and who you're communicating to.
Right. So it's what you know, sell your product at what you know and go out there. That's what I try to do with the awareness show, but right now having problems getting sponsors because I just moved here and that's where I'm having the issues. So
because you're trying to create relationships.
Yeah.
And that's an important part too, is that once you have relationships, it makes it easier. And there's actually a great What Women Want show episode from an expert on sponsorship. Her name is Lisa Hollander. And if you watch What Women Want or listen to it on iHeartRadio or on iTunes, the title of the episode is Confirming Those Coveted Sponsorships. And Lisa and I and Judy went in depth about this every step of the way.
Wow.
How to approach a sponsor, how to close a sponsor, how to continue business with the sponsor so the sponsor is happy.
Right.
So I would highly suggest that episode for you and viewers of your show who might be interested in getting sponsorships. That is one of the most useful What Women Want episodes I've ever had the privilege of doing with Judy, because it really opened my eyes to what things I was missing in getting sponsorships. And I've had sponsorships.
Okay, so my question is, what time is your show? You said you're on iHeartRadio.
Mm-hmm.
Are you on iTunes?
Yes. So What Women Want is on Facebook Live every Wednesday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. We are live on Facebook at that time. If you can't catch us live and say you're on the go and you're in your car, what we do is we have a audio only version of the show available on iHeartRadio, Spreaker, and iTunes that you can listen to. So you can listen to us in your car and get the same great information as well.
Have you tried Spotify yet?
I'm sorry?
Have you tried Spotify?
Spotify, yeah, we're on Spotify too. I forgot about Spotify.
And what about Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, YouTube?
I know What Women Want is on Facebook and What Women Want is on Twitter. I'm not sure about Instagram. Personally, you can find me. I have 2 pages on Facebook, at Kristen West Actress for the acting, and at Host Kristen West for the hosting. On Twitter, I'm at the Kristen West. And on Instagram, I'm at the Kristen West.
So there you guys have it. Thank you, Kristen. I hope we get to work with each other soon. I do go to LA once in a while, so I just settled here in Oxnard, so I was just trying to figure point A to point B. So it is kind of hectic. I branched out from the radio station about a couple months ago, so now I have my own podcast. And I'm learning as I go, like you. So I have my notes, I've got my technology, and you learned something today. So, so if you have an iPad and you go to voice memo, you can record your Skype calls and you can record your video, and then you can send it to email and download it as an MP3 player.
I love it. I love it. I'm going to have to try it.
It takes practice. And I did it with Gabrielle Stone. So I was like happy with that. I was frustrated because I didn't know what I was doing. So, but it's easy for those who have a disability or any type of issues with the computer. Just go here. Well, you can't see it right now, but voice memo, you record it, and then find a soft program to use. So it's not that bad. So I like the technology that it's easy, you know. So,
Yeah.
so here's our shirt. They're wearing a shirt. It's created by one of our graphic designers, Maxie Rodriguez. She is a caricature artist, and you can follow her on Facebook. So if you need any characters or cartoon characters, she could draw you, and you can find her on Facebook. So she's in our last semester of grad school right now. So probably when she's done this semester, hit her up. She'll be looking forward to that. So
I love that idea. I may have to hit her up for real.
yeah. So this is one of the avenues that we do. So again, thank you very, very much. I hope you have a restful day. And you said you're on 5 o'clock?
5 o'clock on Wednesdays, we're on Facebook Live on the What Women Want show page.
And so my listeners can follow you guys there. And then what I'm going to do is after I'm done, I'm going to edit, and then I'll post it to Podomatic. So now when I hang up, you can actually, I'll send the link to you. You'll see how fast it'll record off of Skype. So
wow.
You can record off of Skype now. I did not know that. Yeah. So once I'm done, I'm going to send it to you, and you can see what happens. And then.
Yeah, okay, cool. I'm excited.
So thank you, Christina, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
Yes, thank you.
Stay cool, and
It's too hot to handle here in LA.
I know, powder outage and fire is going on right now. Well, at least we don't have to worry about the flying grasshoppers.
That's true. It's true.
So I hope you have a good weekend, and I will send you that clip right now.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Michelle. I enjoyed it.
You're welcome. Have a good night.
You too. Bye.
Bye.